The list is life. A quote from Schindler's List that spread hope through the entire Jewish community during the Holocaust. This movie was released in 1994, and it's about a man named Oskar Schindler, who was a very prestigious businessman, and during World War II, he intended to stay just that. He was going to employ all the Jews that he could into his factory and continue making money. But little did he know, his factory was going to become a place of refuge, and he was going to save over 1,200 Jewish lives. My ultimate favorite part in this movie had to be the scene. It was a very gruesome scene. It was a massacre that was happening in Krakow, and Schindler was going on about his life as usual, horseback riding, drinking, having an affair, and he came upon all the murders in action, and he witnessed thousands or hundreds of Jews being slaughtered, and he spotted a little girl in a red coat, and he could not take his eyes off of her. He watched her the whole time, and she changed his heart. It was like in that moment you could feel his heart changing, and the scales fell off his eyes, and he realized that what was happening in front of him was wrong, and that he had to do something. He could no longer live life as usual, because now he has a conviction in him that innocent people are being slaughtered. And he now began to use his wealth for the better of humanity, to save the lives of the Jews. Thus came the list. And so, as before, I mentioned that he was wealthy, he was very greedy, he was a very charming man, he was extremely likable by anyone who met him. He persuaded people into friendships by his money, and he formed these friendships with the Nazi soldiers in order to employ Jews into his factory. And when he had that heart change, it went from employing the Jews and being mad that they were murdered because he wasn't going to be making any money, to now he's creating a list in order to save these people he's beginning to fall in love with. He's beginning to love a people he was told to hate. And that alone is extremely powerful. So he didn't want to be a hero, but by the end of the movie, that's exactly what he became. He became a hero. I would say the main theme of this movie would be that hope is never lost. Right when you think it's the darkest of hours, look up, because hope is coming, and probably from one of the most unexpected places. And another theme that you could maybe grasp from this movie would be a heroic theme. You know, Schindler comes in, he's not necessarily a villain, but he has a change of heart, and he becomes a hero to many Jews. And so that's in there through and through, and it's very incredible. You would think that this would be human versus human because it's a war movie, and there is definitely human versus human conflict here, but you'll see that the conflict is much deeper than that throughout the movie. It's really human versus himself. You see it with Oskar Schindler when he's trying to decide what the right thing to do is. Is it worth risking his life to save another? And he decides yes, it is. And then you've got another German soldier who he's in love with this Jewish slave, and he's kind of even saved her life by putting her in his house to serve him. But you know, he's just got a real twisted view, but you can tell the whole time he's just really at war with himself about his affections towards her. And he wrestles with alcoholism because, you know, ultimately they know in their hearts what they're doing is wrong, and they're trying to numb themselves as they're doing these really cruel things to these innocent people. So you'll find the human versus himself very relevant there. This movie was extremely, extremely powerful in its graphics, in its sound. Everything felt very realistic. It draws you in and captures you. By the time the movie's over, the whole atmosphere shifted to a very sobering atmosphere. It was very gut-wrenching, and I definitely recommend this for a very mature audience because the murder scenes are very graphic and detailed. It looks extremely real. You can feel the anger, you can feel the hatred, you can feel the fear and the pain and the terror. You can feel the depression and the heaviness of war. They did an excellent job capturing the reality of what it must have been like in World War II at the Holocaust. They did a very, very good job with that. I think this movie is extremely significant. It's capturing history, which I think we all need to learn history. We need to know what's been in our past. We need to recognize lives that were lost. And it's just a powerful way to reflect what's happened. So as far as it being typical of its genre, absolutely, it's a war movie. It kind of follows the line, even though it's real life. Many war movies, it's like, there's a hero, and in this case, there's many heroes, because honestly, not one person could have pulled off what Schindler pulled off. It took the help of another Jewish man that helped him. And so, but yes, there was heroes, there was lots of death, and there was love story, and there was even humor and things like that. So it definitely followed the genre of a war movie to the T, I would say. But you will be so inspired by this film. It has the power of real life stories, and so with that, you will learn the value not only of knowing history, but understanding the value of life. One man gave his life for so many, so the list is life. Thank you.